You know, when you hear the word exercise, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably a packed gym, a really long run, or maybe some super sweaty hour-long class. But what if I told you that that exact picture is actually what's holding us back? Today, we are going to dig into a really powerful, science-backed idea that the best exercise might not be what you think it is at all. It all starts with a belief that, frankly, we need to challenge.
You know the feeling, right? That little voice that says, well, if I can't find a full hour to go to the gym, then why even bother? It's this all or nothing mindset, and it's probably one of the biggest reasons people don't get active. We just end up waiting and waiting for that perfect time, the perfect schedule, which, let's be real, almost never shows up.
But here's the kicker. What if the actual science told us the complete opposite? Yeah, there's a whole body of research that shows these tiny bursts of activity, I'm talking even just 2 minutes, sprinkled throughout your day can have some seriously profound health benefits. And we're not just talking about a small change here. This is a total game changer in how we should think about movement. So let's just do it. Let's officially bust this myth wide open. This idea that you need these long, drawn-out sessions for exercise to even count, it's just outdated. In fact, holding on to that belief might be the very thing that's keeping you from some amazing health rewards. I mean, this comparison really says it all, doesn't it? The old way of thinking was all about that one big hour-long workout. But the new science, which is backed by places like the Mayo Clinic, is all about accumulation. The big takeaway is that literally any movement is better than none. And you don't need a huge chunk of time to get your heart rate up. Those short bursts can absolutely be intense, and they totally count. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff, the actual science, because this isn't just some nice-sounding idea. It's backed by some really compelling data. You're about to see how these little, bite-sized efforts can add up to some huge, life-changing results. Okay, take a look at this number. There was this big study highlighted by Harvard Health with almost 72,000 adults, and it found that just 15 minutes of vigorous activity a week, that's a little over 2 minutes a day, was linked to an 18% lower risk of dying. I mean, that is a massive return on a teeny tiny investment of time. So here's the bottom line. Your body doesn't have some internal stopwatch that only starts counting the benefits after, say, 20 minutes of continuous movement. It doesn't work that way. It just responds to the total amount of work you do. So every single flight of stairs, every brisk walk to your car, every little burst of effort adds up. It all contributes to a healthier you. All right, so we get the principle. Now, let's talk about the sheer range of benefits, because it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. And the number of health improvements that come from just moving a little bit more is, honestly, it's pretty mind-blowing. Just look at this list. It's incredible. According to the CDC and the Mayo Clinic, regular physical activity is basically a powerhouse of preventative medicine. We're talking about lowering your risk for the big stuff: heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, even multiple types of cancer. And on top of that, it helps with things like depression and anxiety and makes your bones stronger. It's the whole shebang. And if you need a number that really drives this home, check this out. The CDC estimates that about 110,000 deaths every year could be prevented if adults over 40 just added, get this, 10 minutes of activity to their day. Just 10 minutes. It's a really powerful reminder that these little choices we make have huge consequences. And you know, this quote from the Mayo Clinic just hits the nail on the head. Forget about being perfect. The goal is just to be consistent. Finding those little ways to be more active throughout your day, that is the winning strategy. It's all about building a habit of movement. Okay, so we're sold on the why. Now let's get down to the how, because that's what really matters. This is all about changing your perspective, right? Seeing your entire day as a big playground of opportunities for movement, not just that one little hour you might have blocked off for the gym. And to do that, I want to introduce you to a really cool concept. It's called NEAT. It stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis, which I know sounds super scientific, but all it really means is the energy you burn doing everything that isn't formal exercise. You know, walking, fidgeting, cleaning, taking the stairs, it all counts. It's the science that proves every little choice to move matters. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it's the simplest stuff. Choose the stairs. Pace around your living room when you're on a phone call. Got a minute while your coffee's brewing? Bang out a few squats. Park a little farther from the door at the grocery store. See? None of these are workouts. They're just small upgrades to your daily routine that add up to real benefits. All right, as we start to wrap this up, I want to zero in on what might be the single most important part of this whole conversation. It's not about becoming some marathon runner overnight. It's about that very first step you take away from doing nothing at all. Okay, this chart right here, this is one of my favorite visuals in all of exercise science because it is so encouraging. While every bit of activity helps, the single biggest leap in health benefits, the biggest bang for your buck, comes when you go from being sedentary, from doing nothing, to doing just something. That first step is the most powerful one you can take. So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Don't let the idea of a perfect workout stop you from just starting. The goal isn't perfection, it's just participation. It's about showing up for your own health every single day in whatever small way you can. Remember, every step, every stretch, every single flight of stairs, it all counts. So the question isn't, when am I going to find an hour to exercise? The real question is this: what's one small move you can make today to start building a healthier future?